Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, and today is a nice rapid-fire tips-filled episode with one aim, and that is to help you grow your email list faster. I hear this frustration all the time of, I just can't seem to get subscribers. Nobody's signing up to my list. So, what's the point? Or you kind of have this natural growth right at the beginning and then things just stagnate because really there are a few key factors that are at play when it comes to your list growth. So firstly, of course, you've got just your numbers, like making sure things are converting. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. Secondly, a lot of your initial list growth will come from your existing audience, whether that's on Instagram, social media, or people within your networks. So you might get that rapid increase, but at some point you might exhaust that audience if you aren't proactively growing elsewhere. And then, of course, you run into that trap. So you want to start thinking about, okay, well, I need to get more eyeballs on my lead magnet or list builder, etc. So there is these kind of 3 stages of list growth. You're just starting, you're just getting going, then you are, promoting a lot to your existing audience, and then you're like, okay, I need to get elsewhere. So this episode covers a lot of different strategies across all those levels. So you can start to think about, okay, what's next for me? How can I take this up a notch? How can I get more subscribers? Because whatever I've got going on now just isn't working. Okay, so let's get stuck into it. I've got 10 ways to boost your list growth. The first way, I talk about this all the time, you have to give a reason for people to sign up. If you've heard me say it once, you'll hear me say it again. Saying sign up to my newsletter is not enough. If you don't have a lead magnet, that's fine, but you still need to give a reason for people to join your list by saying, come join my club. Come join my, get exclusive updates. So give them a reason. And don't just say, sign up for or subscribe. Of course, if you can introduce some sort of lead magnet or opt-in incentive, that is fantastic, and that gives more reason for your audience to sign up. So back in episode 74, I did a whole episode around lead magnets that are working now. So if you're looking for ideas, make sure to check that one out. So that's reason number 1. Give people a reason to sign up. People value their email addresses, so they're not just going to give it away for free. Okay, number 2 is to check your stats. So before you go about going, okay, I need to get my lead magnet or my list builder in front of lots more people, we need to check what you've got going is working right now. So a couple of stats you would look at. First is your lead page. So if you have a dedicated sign up page for your lead magnet, you would expect 50 to 60% of people who visit that page to be signing up, at least. If you are not reaching those numbers, that tells me the problem is not that you are not getting your lead magnet in front of enough people, it's just you're not converting them. So you need to go ahead and look at, how do I improve the conversion on my lead page? What messaging can I use, etc. And I do have a previous episode all about lead pages as well. So you can make sure to look that up and check it out. Okay, the second stat is also just a general site-wide stat. So if you have like a pop-up or some sort of sign-up form, you want to be looking at about 1 to 3% of all your website visitors signing up. So if you are not getting those numbers, that tells me you are not, something's not quite hitting with your messaging, or you are not making it obvious enough, which is number 3. Make your sign-up obvious on your website. So this means having like maybe a floating bar on your header, or it's in like your web page banner, Or yes, you might have a pop-up or a flyout. I know not everyone loves those, but you can set restrictions on them that they only, come up after a certain period of time. Put it on your footer because people naturally, if they miss it there, they might scroll down and check out your footer as well. Put it in your sideboard, but make it super obvious and on all the pages that make sense. For my e-commerce businesses, obviously your number one priority is people buying. So you'll have your products featured first, but then your list builder underneath that. Or you've got, just that nice slimline sticky bar at the top, which just tells them join the list, get your 10% off discount. So it is obvious. And if you don't have it obvious, if it's just hidden in your footer somewhere, well, that's a big reason why people aren't signing up. So make it obvious on your website. Similar to this, number 4, the fourth way is to make it prominent on your socials. You can't just expect that you've posted about it once ages ago that people are going to join. So we want to put it in all of the places. So anytime you are not actively doing some sort of promotion or launch, you want to put this as one of the top things on your socials. So this means to change the graphic image on your Facebook page to include a mention of your lead magnet and have your learn more button at the top of the page go straight to the lead page. Also, make sure the pinned post on your Facebook page is your lead magnet. Make your pinned post on Instagram one of those, make them your lead magnet. Put it in your highlights. Make sure it's in your link in bio. We now get 5 links in your bio, so there is no excuse not to have your lead magnet at least being one of them. So make sure it's prominent. If you use other social media channels, it's the same philosophy. Just make sure it's right at the top of the feed and it's easy for people to find. So they go, oh, yep, that's the natural next step. Number 5 is to leverage your content. If you are producing content of any form, whether it is blog posts, whether it's YouTube videos or just Facebook Lives, if it is podcasts, make sure you are mentioning your lead magnet in all of these places. So on the actual posts on your website, so within the content, right in the middle or just underneath, mention it naturally in the conversation. You can use dynamic ads for posting them on podcast episodes. That's one I'm going to play with shortly myself. You can mention it at the end of your videos and make sure you always link it in the show notes or link it in the description of videos. And leverage all of that content you are creating so people have a next step once they read that or listen to that and go, oh yeah, I love what this person's about. What's the next thing for me? Number 6 then is to mention it often. Mention your email list all of the time. So this means try, again, when you're not actively promoting something else, share a post a week on your Instagram, on your Facebook, whatever your social media channel is that shares your lead magnet. Now, this doesn't have to be every single time going, get this lead magnet, it's amazing. But if you share a tip or an insight or just even a meme or some sort of funny reel, whatever it is, and just say, hey, you might want to check this, if you want more help, to get this lead magnet. And you can even add in layers like using ManyChat to say, if you comment ideas, get my email ideas, opt in, and you can automate all of that so people don't even need to leave Instagram now to sign up to your list. So mentioning it all the time, of course, in your stories as well, and just making sure it's coming up often. But you don't always just have to do this with your lead magnet, right? You can also just mention your email list. So you can share as a story or a post like, oh, hey, I just shared this insight with my email list. If you want stuff like this, make sure to get it. Make sure to join. Or, of course, if you have already leveraged your content from step 5 before, anytime you're sharing your content and someone goes there, then they see your lead magnet. So you're always, the path is going through always to your email list. That's what I want you to get into your head. All paths lead to your email list. Okay. So a lot of those have to do with, your existing audience, having a few quick wins. But yes, we do reach this point where you might reach a limit in terms of, what your existing audience is about, or even what your existing lead magnet can do. So if you think, okay, well, maybe my lead magnet doesn't appeal to everyone, or I've got this big portion of my audience who just hasn't joined, you can look at adding some, events style lead magnets to your repertoire. So when I mean event by event style, things. It's where you have a limited time availability for something. So this could be a webinar, it could be a challenge, it could be a boot camp, it could be a giveaway. It could also be something that might be a paid thing, like a cheap entry level product that you go, I'm going to offer this for free for 7 days to anyone new who signs up. So you can have limited time offers effectively to get more people from your existing list or come at it from different angles. Yes, these can of course be tied with launches or sales promotions, or you can just do some purely for growing your email list. I've done this many times where I just run a masterclass. Yes, sometimes I offer like a simple service at the back end of it if people want a next step, but it's more about growing the list and talking with people and giving them different ways to interact with you. Next up is, of course, ads. So I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that in this episode, but it doesn't get mentioned until step 8 or way 8, because we want to make sure we've done everything else. We want to make sure we're converting. We definitely want to make sure our lead page is converting well. We want to make sure our messaging is right. We want to make sure we're attracting the right people that are converting. And you want to do some numbers. So you want to go ahead and look at, okay, so for every subscriber I get, I, for example, might earn $5. So I have, doing the maths on that, you say, okay, for every so many people that sign up, I get one sale. That sale is worth X number of dollars. And that equate divided by the number of people who signed up, that's worth $5 per subscriber. So if you know that, you can go, okay, so therefore I can afford to pay, $2, $3, $4, depending on what you want per lead. And in theory, you should always be ahead. You should always be profitable. But unless you know those numbers, I don't recommend going with ads unless you're comfortable with just a bit of risk. If you're like, you know what, I'm going to play with just chucking $100 at this or $200 at this and just see what happens. Being comfortable that you might not make that back straight away. But if you want to test things quickly and get things going, you absolutely can do that. But that's just my caveat. I really believe you need to be able to know the conversion value before you go at least too far down the ads rabbit hole. But absolutely can be a great way to grow your list quickly, especially if you don't want to spend a ton of time, being active on socials, etc. Now, there are another couple of really good ways to get in front of other people's audiences. And one is to participate or create bundles or swaps. So you see, it's a lot more popular now, is having different gift bundles going around at Christmas or Black Friday, or people just do different things where they say, okay, people can sign up for X dollars and get access to this many lead magnets or freebies, or they can get if you have a paid, like a low price point offer. It's great to have a low price point offer that you can contribute to these bundles where people spend, $50 and they get $200, $300 worth of products more, and then they sign up to your individual one if they choose to have it. They're a bit more formally organized ones, but you can also do this as swaps too. So you can either do it with paid things, free things. It could be with your events. You can find someone who shares your audience, someone in your networks. You have the same target market, but you sell different things. You can go, you know what, do you want to just swap? I'll promote your lead magnet if you promote mine, or I'll promote your event if you promote mine. And you just do some sort of swaps or collaborations or like a mini bundle between you guys about what you want to do. You could do collaborative giveaway. You could also do things like, joint venture webinars, all sorts of things. But just participating in these little bundles or doing swaps with people who share your audience is a great way to get in front of other people's audiences. And finally, the 10th way is to get active with guest speaking. So this can come in the form of participating in summits. It could be in, contributing to other people's courses or memberships, and of course, appearing on other people's podcasts or doing like live trainings in people's Facebook groups, anything like that. Always looking for those opportunities, and then as part of that, typically you get the opportunity to share your lead magnet, and it comes with this level of trust, right? And this is what I love about guest speaking, especially, is while, you might not get as many opportunities, you're not going to have multiple a week, but when you do get them, that people in that audience already trust that person. And if they're recommending you and if they're trusting you to teach their audience something, then that can give you that boost you need. They go, oh yeah, I want to sign up and I want to know more. So you can get these really big kind of little boosts of effort from that as well. So they are 10 different ways you can boost your list growth. Quick recap. We want to make sure we're giving people a good reason to sign up. We want to make sure your stats are working. We want to make your lead magnet or your sign up obvious on your website. We want to share it prominently on socials. And number 5, we want to leverage your content. Number 6, we want to mention it often in all the places. Number 7, we might want to add in some events like giveaways, webinars, limited time freebies. We could then use ads. You could participate in or create, bundles or do some swaps. And finally, 10th, you can do some guest speaking. So of course, it would be a little bit silly of me to share an episode all about boosting your list growth without mentioning my lead magnet, which is my 80 plus fill in the blank email ideas. So if you are stuck on email ideas to share with your list, make sure to grab that. You can get that at yaelkeown.com/ideas. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to hear from you about what you've enjoyed from this episode or what you want to know more about in future episodes. Please let me know over on Instagram. I'm at yaelkeown, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honor that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.